Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Rowe. We're looking at Algebra 2B. We're looking at Lesson 3. We're going to focus on those two word problems. So let's take a look at some similar examples to these. So this is like number 6 and 7, I think, or 7 and 8. I think it's 7 and 8 now. So this is the car dealership problem. So this time we got Hank goes to a new car dealership and buys a car for $28,000. The salesman tells him that it will depreciate 15% of its value every year. And Charlie wants to know the value of his car after 4 years. Show the formula, show the steps. So what do you got to do here? Well, you got to know the formula. Well, the formula is given in the lesson content, but here it is again. And I've modified it a little bit just for the purposes of the problem. So it's A, which is the initial amount or initial value. So A is initial value. And then we got 1 minus R. R is the rate of depreciation. And then T is the time in years. All I got to do is find those values in the problem, substitute, and then use my calculator to find the answer. So what's the initial value? The initial value here is $28,000 right there. So my formula becomes 28,000 and then 1 minus the rate. The rate is 15%. Remember, anytime you have a percent in a problem, you change it to a decimal. So 15% equals 0.15. And then T is time in years. So in this case, we've got 4 years. So there's your formula. So now all you got to do is pull out your calculator and type that in. So we got 28,000 and then 1 minus 0.15 to the 4th power. So I'm going to use this right here to raise it to the 4th power. And there you go. So after 4 years, the car will be worth $14,616. And what was that, 75 cents? 18 cents. And there you go, that's it. Find the values, use the formula you're given, substitute, use your calculator to do the work for you. So here's the second one. Rebecca goes to a bank with $4,000 and she saved that over the summer. The bank advertises a 4% interest rate. When you open your savings account, the bank compounds the money daily, and they actually give you the formula here. Where P represents the initial amount deposited, R is the rate in decimal form, and T is the total time. Rebecca wants to know how much money she will have in her savings after 10 years. All right, so we've got our P, which is 4,000. E, we'll talk about that in just a second. We've got a rate. Our rate is 4%. Remember, like we said, if we're going to change, if we're going to use it in a problem, 4% has to be a decimal, so 4% equals 0.04. So 0.04. And then we're looking for 10 years. Now, one of the things that people are doing to mess this problem up is they're not multiplying this correctly. So we're going to go through that, and then we're going to actually use our calculator to work it out. So now, well, actually, I'm going to show you how to do that with a calculator too. So 0.04 times 10 is 0.04, or 0.4, excuse me. So this will be 4,000 e to the 0.4. Calculate this on your calculator. So here's my calculator. I'm going to type that in, 4,000. Now, what is e? E is the exponential function. It is the inverse of the natural logarithm. We talked about natural logarithms in an earlier lesson. So how do you find that on the calculator? Well, you're going to hit the second button. You're going to hit the natural log, ln, right there. And you see it brings up e. And all we got to do is type in the power, 0.4. And so after 10 years, she is going to have $5,967.30 if we round it to the nearest cent. So her account after 10 years is going to be $5,967.30. And there you go. That's all there is to these two word problems. If you're still having trouble with these, please let me know in a teacher message or make an appointment for a help session.